Hello my lovely YouTubers. So today I'm just gonna do an update for you guys. I moved all of my orchids inside, as you can probably tell. So I'm just gonna go around and update you guys on some of the orchids that are blooming or updated from last time. So yeah. I wanted to also tell you guys that this YouTube channel, it is about orchids, but, and here's the but, not that kind of but let me take a page out of Captain Barbossa's Book of Piracy. Whatever I talk about on my channel, they're more like guidelines than actual rules. I'm not saying that you guys have to do this or you have to do that. This is the way that I grow my orchids, the way that is best for me. Not everybody is going to grow their orchids like I do, but this is what I've noticed has been good for my orchids, and I use those methods. So if you've got a way that you grow that is better than me, by all means, do what works for you. Don't always listen to what you, like, you know, I feel like a mom right now, but don't always listen to what you hear or what you read. If you've got a way that works for you, use it. Please use it. If you were taught to water your orchids one way, but I'm showing you how to water your orchids another way, then use whichever method you feel is going to work best for your situation. So I think that goes really for any orchid grower. I don't know any two orchid growers that really grow their orchids the same way, because your environment's going to be different, your temperature is going to be different. If you grow inside, it's going to be much different than if you grow outside. There's just so many varying factors that you need to use what is best for you. Okay? Yeah, got that taken care of. So there was a comment on one of my previous videos about the way in which I water and fertilize my seedlings here. These are my Paphiopedilum seedlings. I deflasked these in July of this year, and I guess I sort of look like a crazy person whenever I water them because I just spray all over the place and I don't really take into account where I'm spraying. But there is a method to my madness. Whenever I water my orchids, the water is never going to sit in the crown. Yes, it probably does get into the crown, but good airflow is crucial for any orchid, whether it be a Cattleya or a Paphiopedilum, an Oncidium. Good airflow is crucial for these guys. So if you have good airflow around your orchids, you shouldn't have to worry about fungal diseases or crown rot, for example. So these ones here, as you can see, they're progressing quite rapidly. I've got some a nice sheen on the leaves. They're a nice healthy green color, new leaves coming in there, and on this one here as well. And you can see the rest of them, this new leaf progressing quite well. And all of my other little guys, they're looking so good. So I just wanted to update you guys and show you that they're not suffering from crown rot. They're looking really, really well. But if you have any questions about the way that in which I water, please leave a comment down below. I also have this other one over here. This is my Layla Cattleya Green Veil, and the clonal name for this one is Dressy. You can't see it though because it's covered by the sphagnum moss, but this one here gets watered the same way as well, and you can see his roots. They're nice and green, so that tells me I don't have to water him just yet, but I water him the same way I do my Paphiopedilum, so I guess I just spray haphazardly. But good airflow, as I said, is going to be your best friend with orchids. Now over here, I've got sort of a melting pot going on. I've got some Catasetums, I've got an Oncidium there, I have an Angraecum who's making a little leaf there, and he's got his little roots coming out everywhere. I love the Angraecum orchids. They are night bloomers, so their blooms will be white, but they're super, super fragrant, so I can't wait until this guy blooms here. This is an Angraecum germinanum. Probably saying that wrong. Anyways. I've got a little Cattleya here, another Catasetum, some more. These are all of my smaller ones. This is a seedling here, a seedling there. This one actually made his first pseudobulb. I'm so proud right there is his first pseudobulb for this little Cattleya. And the Oncidium there, he is growing really, really well, has lots of new pseudobulbs, and Gracum's trying to get in on his territory. So, and then I've got this other small Cattleya seedling here. He's got lots of, I know he looks kind of bad, but I actually got this one off of the clearance rack at Lowe's, so I saved him for like $1. And when he blooms, this is actually going to be a Cattleya, I think it is a chocolate drop. I might be wrong on that one, but he's got lots of new root growth there, so I know he's healthy and progressing. And then this is my one of my miniatures. This is an Encyclia polybulbon, and he's actually getting ready to bloom. So if you can see there in the leaf crotch, there's little sheaths everywhere. This thing has a ton of sheaths. There's one right there too. So he's actually getting ready to bloom, and I'll update you guys. Oh, and there's another sheath right there. They're everywhere. Another one right there. So I'll update you guys whenever this one blooms here. So next one I'll update you on is my Oncidium. If you remember in one of my previous videos, I told you guys right there is where this orchid had a little accident. He fell off my shelf during a high windstorm and snapped his spike. I was really afraid he wasn't going to bloom, but this guy is determined. He grew new spiking points, new branches right there, and then on the other side he grew another spike. And as you can see, many, many blooms on this one. I'm 99% sure that this is an Oncidium sweet sugar. None of the blooms are fragrant on this one, and none of the blooms are fragrant on Oncidium sweet sugar, so I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure, but he didn't come with an identification tag, so I can't be 100% certain just because there are so many hybrids that look alike. But you can see the similarities between the Oncidium sweet sugar and mine are pretty dang close. Another one of my no identification orchids, they're also called noids. This one is my hard cane dendrobium. It's just going to be a purple blooming orchid. I really liked it when I saw it in the store, but I didn't realize how big these things actually get. It takes up a lot of space. So I might actually give this one away to my Orchid Society for their raffle. But the blooms are really, really pretty. They're a deep, rich purple color. And in the back there you can see another, well, yeah, okay. You can see another spike growing in the back there. So this one's much farther along. It'll bloom before that one in the back does. Now this one here is my Brassolalia Cattleya Husky Boy clonal name Romeo. It is a yellow blooming orchid with a red lip, and I think I told you guys in one of my previous videos that I didn't think it was going to bloom. Well, I might be wrong because the sheath has actually turned a brown crispy color, but it's actually gotten fatter. Can you see that? It's actually inflated, and there's a little hole at the top of it there. So it looks like it is going to bloom from this older sheath. Now, some orchids will do that, so you don't want to cut or remove any old sheaths if you think that you have an empty sheath, which can happen as well. Don't cut it off, just leave it there and see what the orchid does with it. So this one might be blooming from this old sheath here. I'm pretty sure it is, because it just looks enlarged, engorged, really. But that would be exciting. I'll update you guys as this one progresses here. So I think the one I'm most excited about is my Catasetum. This is Catasetum sanguineum with Susan Fuchs, I think this is burgundy chips. So it's going to be a spotted orchid, and this is the only one of my Catasetums to bloom so far. This one actually bloomed earlier this year. You can see it's starting to go dormant with the yellow leaves there. This one bloomed earlier this year, I think 2 months ago, and the blooms turned out to be female. So I reduced the amount of light that it was receiving, and as you can see, the blooms are now going to be male. All of the ants crawling on there, they love what I like to call happy sap. It's just a sugary substance that, of course, ants love sugar, so that's why they're crawling all over it, but I'll probably need to remove them. Ants can also harvest aphids, and aphids, of course, as we know, like to suck the plant sap from the plant, and too many aphids and you'll have a very, very sick orchid. But for now, I'll leave them because I know that they're just enjoying that buffet of happy sap on there. I cannot wait until this one blooms. I will update you guys as the blooms progress. The spike on one of my Phalaenopsis is progressing as well. You can see it's getting larger, reaching towards the light there. Again, during this time, you don't really want to move them around too much because you will get a twisted spike or the blooms will become twisted. So if you're one of those that likes the aesthetic appeal of a nice straight spike with evenly spaced blooms, then you really don't want to move them around too much. But you can see here the spike is actually growing pretty rapidly even since the last video that I did with you guys. And in my last video, you couldn't even see the spike on this one. It was so tiny. This is one of my mini Phalaenopsis, but now you can definitely see the spike with its little purple hat on. And this one here is my Dendrobium alexanderae mixed with Dendrobium hodgkinsonii. So this one is a winter bloomer, and as you can see, true to his name, he's getting ready to bloom. It'll probably be around December before I see these blooms open. At least that's what happened last year. So I'm really excited. He's got tons and tons of spikes on all of his growths. So I will update you guys as this one progresses as well. And here in the back is my Miltassia Charles M. Fitch. The clonal name for this one is Izumi. And you can see the purple blossoms on there. Very, very fragrant orchid. I love this one. The blooms are so pretty. And this was one of the ones that I sort of mistreated. As you can see, the pseudobulbs on there are pretty shriveled looking, but he did decide to bloom anyways. So that is my Miltassia Charles M. Fitch. Now, if you guys wanted to see what that happy sap looks like, that sugary substance that orchids create, I like to call it happy sap just because I notice orchids produce it when they're really happy. But you can really see it on this one here. This is my Cattleya caguas ruby, and it has the happy sap right there. So if you can see that, that is that sugary substance that was on my Catasetum that the ants were having a little buffet with. So this one is actually in sheath. Probably won't bloom until the springtime though. There aren't any buds in there, but it might bloom in the springtime. This was one of the Cattleyas I first introduced you guys to in one of my very first videos. It's the one that has the orange looking blossoms because one of its pod parents is C. aurantiaca, and that one is a species Cattleya with orange blossoms. Alrighty guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe to my channels for more videos like this one in the future, and I will see you guys later. Bye!